Hey, what's up everybody? Today we're going to talk again about the Bowflex. Let's say that you just got a Bowflex or you're thinking about getting a Bowflex. Question is well, what the hell do you do with it once you actually have the Bowflex? I've had mine for about a year now, and I'm going to share with you today what I've learned, just a few very basic principles that allowed me to get the most out of my Bowflex unit over the last year. Do me a favor though, as usual, if you find this video to be helpful for you, please hit the like button while you're here, maybe even the subscribe button while you're already on my channel. Very much appreciate that. So I got the Bowflex here behind me. This is the Ultimate 2, which is a little bit of an older model. I ended up picking it up in around February of 2020, right before the COVID lockdowns all hit. I had been only doing gym before that, usually 5 to 6 times a week. And so I got this not realizing that the lockdowns were coming. So I got the unit in here. It was used, but it was in good condition. I set it up as you can see behind me. And it took me a little bit to kind of figure out what to do with it. It was a lot like when you first get cable TV or you first get satellite TV and you've got like a bunch of channels, you got a bunch of options to choose from, and you find yourself just clicking through channel, because it's almost like the option of choosing is too much sometimes. Or like if you're thinking about trying to like go out to dinner and you're talking with your significant other, like, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And then you end up not doing anything because there's too many things sometimes to make a choice. The Bowflex for me was very similar in that mindset. You know, I got it in here and there was just so many different things that you can do. You know, I'm looking at different bars, different pulleys, different setups. I even had got the book that had all of the different exercises in it, and it handcuffed me a little bit as far as actually trying to get something going. Or once I was actually down here, I was doing too many different things to make it feel like it was worth my while. So I would be down here for 45 minutes or an hour and leave and not feel like I had really accomplished anything because I was just doing too many different things and not really concentrating on what body part or body group I was really kind of wanting to work. So, you know, one of the first things that I really kind of had to do was break it down into a little bit more simpler terms, and this is something I'd absolutely recommend if you've just got one, or if you're thinking about getting one. Like, what do you do as soon as you get it? You know, the Bowflex is very similar to the gym in the sense of, like, when you go to the gym, typically what people do is they pick a body part to work out. You know, they're like, well, I'm going to do arms today, I'm going to do chest today, and then they do exercises that are connected to that particular body part, right? So they're doing curls of some sort, or tricep press downs, or if they're doing, you know, chest, they'll jump on the bench, or, you know, they pick stuff specific to the body part. And so that's one of the things I would absolutely recommend whenever you're looking at a Bowflex, is approach it in that same way. Even though there's a bunch of options here to choose from, pick the body parts that you're wanting to work and look for opportunities, look for exercises that mimic those same things that you're doing in the gym. You know, for example, if you thought, I want to do arms, well, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at the Bowflex, look at where the different handles, different things are, and look for opportunities that essentially allow you to do something like this, right? Because when you're at the gym, that's mostly what you're doing with arms, is a lot of this or a lot of this, right? And so look for those things which just mimic that. If you look behind me, there's a couple of handles down low. So my first thought was, if those are down low, there's an opportunity to go like this. For the handles that are up high, same thing. And all I did is I started hooking up different handles and different weights and started just kind of going through some things. I used the book and I used online for references, like different exercises you can do. But in the end, the ones that I ended up using the most over the last year are the ones that I just kind of came up with on my own. Things that I didn't see anywhere else, but just through some trial and error and trying different things and looking for those mimicking type of movements, I found some other things that ended up working out better for me, partly because of my height. I'm taller than most people, so some of those other exercises in the book didn't really fit the way that I wanted them to fit. So, you know, approach it in that manner. Just look for those same opportunities to mimic the moves, mimic the exercises that you would be doing at the gym. Don't get in here and think like, well, I need to do legs and chest and core and arms and shoulder. You don't have to do all of that in one day, right? Just go in just like you would with the gym, with the same mindset of, you know, today I'm going to be working this particular type of body group, body muscles, and look for opportunity to do something similar like that. That way it'll keep you from getting into that mindset of like, look at all these things that I can do, you know, all of these bells and whistles, because ultimately that just distracts you and spreads your attention out to too many different things. So that was one of the big things for me that I realized was hindering me at the beginning. Was I just needed to be able to focus on what it was I was trying to accomplish. Once I did that and just put my mind to here's what I'm working today, some of the exercises worked at the beginning, some of them didn't, but you eventually iron those things out and come up with a good routine that you want. And even still a year later, I'm still sometimes just trying different things that I think of as I'm working out, different postures, different movements, and whatnot. So that's my first tip. So the other thing is that I realized here over the last year is, so my Bowflex came with 310 quote unquote pounds of rods, right? So there's different weights. Each rod that's in the back has different weights associated with it. Mine, I had 250s and then a couple of, like a 30, 220s and a 10 at the time. So it was a total of 310 pounds. Now, I bought mine used, so my cables had a little bit of bend in them already. They already had a little bit of give from somebody else using them. So there was probably a little bit of tension lost there. But what I was finding was that I could do all 310 pounds on several of these exercises. So if I was doing a bench, for example, I could do, I mean, it was a little bit tight, but I was able to get through 5, 6, 7 reps. And it dawned on me that if I tried that at the gym, I would mess my pants right now. I'd probably mess other people's pants. The 310 pounds or whatever pounds you have of tension on here is not the same as you're gonna find with regular free weights. It's just not. So for example, what I did is I ended up buying 2 more rods, 2 more 50-pound rods, so it added 100 more pounds. So now in theory, I've got 410 pounds on there. And just the fact that those new rods were brand new and had no bend in them, I couldn't do any exercises with them that I was somewhat easily doing before with the 310 pounds. And so what you really kind of want to look for is don't think of these as pounds. It's not the same as free weights or weights at the gym. 310 pounds, 210 pounds, 410 pounds can easily make you think that you're doing way more weight than you actually are. It's just a different type of system. So it's not true weight. Having said that, the weight that is on this system is still a lot of weight. There are exercises, like I said, if I put all 410 pounds and try to do some chest workouts, I can't hardly move the cables, right? So there is still weight, there is still excellent workout opportunity, but don't make the mistake of thinking that whatever number you're pushing here is the same number that you're gonna be able to push at the gym, because you will find out very quickly that it's simply not. So watch the pounds. You know, and one of the things certainly to recommend and kind of watch for is, like I said, I bought mine used, so my rods had a little bit of bend in them anyways. There was a big time difference whenever I bought those 2 brand new rods. So if you're buying a brand new unit, your weight's gonna be probably more stern or more steady than mine was whenever I first got mine. But still, it's just the concept is the same. It's that weight that you're pushing behind you is not, you know, if you're putting 100, 200, whatever it is, it's not the same as if you go to the gym and try that same equivalent of weight. You are going to get shocked if you try that. So just kind of a heads up on that. You know, the last thing I was going to kind of go over here was that, you know, I have pretty much been able to come up, any exercise that I was doing at the gym, I have come up with pretty much some sort of similar option here on the Bowflex. Not as exactly similar, but for the most part, very much so. And for somebody, I've been trying to not go to the gym anymore and really been trying to do my workouts from here. I've been very happy with the level and adequateness of these workouts here and feeling like I'm still making gains, even though it's not the same type of feeling. And something that I've mentioned in one of my other videos is how when you're going through these exercises, they just feel different than regular weights. And that's 100% true, but it's just that, it's just different. There are some people that will say that you can't get the same type of workout on something like this as you would at the gym. And I believe that to be absolutely true. It is not the same type of workout. However, think about this. When you go to the gym, some of those popular exercises that you see are people using cables, right? Standing cables, or they'll do like lat pull downs. They'll do all sorts of different types of cable variations where something is essentially pulling against them while you are pulling against the weight, right? And this is very much similar. So my thought there was, well, if they're using a lot of these cable opportunities at the gym, then using them at home shouldn't be that much different. And I believe, from my personal experience, I believe that to be true, that a lot of the same motions, a lot of the same resistance ends up kind of happening as you would be using on cables at the gym. But otherwise, if you're doing something here like a bench press or the equivalent of a bench press, it's just different. The resistance that you are trying to fight against, if I'm benching, I've got a flat bar that's across me and I'm pushing forward, and so it's more about stabilizing. Something like this, where I've got a handle on this side and a handle on this side, and I'm pushing, I have to kind of try to figure out how to equal that out while I'm pushing it forward. Very, very different type of workout. Having said that, I have absolutely made progress using this over the last year, and I think it's the same with this as it is any other type of workout opportunity or situation, and that is the level of intensity that you decide to choose will dictate your success at the end of this, right? So if you're working out hard, if you're sweating, if you're pushing, whether it's here, whether it's at the gym, whatever it is, if you can acclimate and sort of accommodate to whatever it is that you're working on, so whether it's resistance like this, whether it's free weights at the gym, for me, it's just a matter of putting everything you've got into it and getting the most out of it that you possibly can. Having said that, all of that, there are a few things also that I should mention here at the end. One is there is a different feel for free weights. I feel stronger while I'm actually doing free weights, right? I feel there's just something different about having the iron in your hands or whatever it is that you're doing. It just feels differently. It doesn't feel harder. It doesn't feel better to me. It just feels, I shouldn't say better. It feels like I'm stronger whenever I'm doing those. I don't think that there is any sort of actual impact to my end result. It's just something that I feel whenever I'm working out. There's just something nice about having iron in your hands and actually moving some of that stuff. So, there is some value certainly to that. But otherwise, look, I've been doing this, like I said, for just about a year. I am super happy with it. These things that I learned once I kind of understood them, increasing intensity, looking for opportunities to make things harder, understanding the weight differences, understanding how to sort of zone in on and just look at like what body parts I'm working on a particular day. It became very much more like the gym than it was before, whenever I was coming down here and just doing all sorts of stuff and kind of guessing and gambling on any given day on what I was going to be doing. So that's it. I hope some of this stuff helped you. I know that it's very common for a lot of people to buy Bowflexes and then end up selling them shortly after because they don't use them. And I think a lot of that is just because it's a lot to try to figure out from the beginning. Like I said, a lot of bells and whistles, a lot of things to choose from. Start small, just try to look for opportunities to mimic those same exercises that you were going to be doing in the gym. Pick one body part and just do that one for that day. Same thing for the next day, just switch the body part up. Eventually things will start to kind of smooth out, become easier for you. Next thing you know, you'll be messing your own pants because you're pushing 410 pounds on the Bowflex. Hopefully not, but I haven't got there yet. I've gotten close, but not quite yet. So anyways, let me know if you got any questions. Hopefully this video is helpful for you, and best of luck on your Bowflex journey.